everyone. Okay, so I'm no jar again today because I've got a question from someone, and the question was, how do I keep my peace if I'm living with someone who's struggling with an addiction? And that's the kind of big question. So I'll kind of break it down and we're going to put some context because then it might make more sense. So let's imagine that the someone is a son or a daughter over the age of 18, and maybe they're living at home. And so you're the parent, and I'm assuming this might be a good question to answer because I'm sure there's a lot of parents out there who are seeing their grown-up children struggling. And it could be any addiction. It could be drugs, alcohol, gambling, gaming is a big one, I think, for young people. Sitting in their room, gaming all the time. So it could be anything. Let's just say that this parent is worried that their son or daughter is not happy, is stuck, is antisocial. Obviously, if they've got an addiction of drugs and alcohol and gambling, that's a huge problem. That's a big issue that might, really be impacting their personality, and might be leaving them acting out, acting badly, or acting disrespectfully, or even abusively. But the question was, how do I keep my peace? And I think that's a really interesting question, because how do I stay calm, peaceful when I see my beautiful kid, unhappy, miserable, a slave to their addiction? Because that's what addiction is. It just means, they're a slave to this harsh taskmaster that is unrelenting. I think it's really difficult for parents, and I feel for them. I've worked in rehab with addiction for a long time, and a part of that therapy that we did with them was to actually bring in the families and help the families cope with what feels like something that's quite uncopable. Is that even a word? I just made it a word. So let's talk to the parents, okay? So first of all, I would say to any parent, if they've got a person in their world struggling, I would say, what does it mean or say about you that this person is struggling with an addiction? Because that's where you've got to start. So what does it say about you as a parent? And a lot of parents will say, well, it makes me feel, like I must have done something wrong. I must have been a terrible parent. It's all my fault. And they might have a huge amount of shame and guilt come up about the fact that their grown-up son or daughter is struggling with an addiction. So there's your first point of call, because what does it say about us as parents if our kids have an addiction? And they're not kids. I'm just using that word generically because it's just quicker than saying grown-up sons and daughters. But when I say kid, that's what I mean, grown-up son and daughter, because they're not a kid. They're not a child anymore. They're 0 to 12 is when you really are parenting as such, because once they hit 12, they actually start looking at their peers for the approval, not their parents. So really, our real parenting happens in those first 12 years. So what does it say or mean about you? Well, maybe it means I'm a terrible parent. Maybe it means I did something wrong. Maybe it means I wasn't there for them. I didn't do, most parents do their absolute best. This isn't about blaming parents, for goodness sake, it's bad enough being a parent without beating yourself up about not being the perfect parent or not being a better parent. The fact is, we all do our best. Sometimes our best isn't good enough. That's true. And we may have messed up. We're human beings. Of course we're going to mess up. We're not going to be perfect parents. And I certainly wasn't. I think for a big part of my kids' growing age, we actually had a pub in the UK and I wasn't there a lot of the time. And so I probably neglected them quite a bit. Did I do my best? Absolutely. But at the same time, I probably wasn't good enough. What is good enough parenting? That's a whole nother subject. So I kind of want to say to parents, unless you're really one of those tiny percentages that were just really mean and cruel to your kids on purpose, then you probably did your best, like we all did. But your best probably wasn't good enough for them. Because they need, I mean, let's face it, if you've seen kids, they need 100%, attention, approval, acceptance, love, affection. No parent could do that. You're trying to do the impossible. You're never going to meet all their needs. You do your best. That's all any of us do. And so what does it mean or say about you as a parent that this person now has got an addiction or is struggling? And that's the question I have to start with, because if you answer that and go, oh, well, it means I'm a terrible person, I'm a terrible parent, I'm wrong, I'm bad. Well, there you go. Like, we got to deal with that, because if you're sitting in that place of feeling terribly guilty, ashamed, and bad, then what do you think is going to happen to you in regards to seeing your kids struggle? Does that mean you've got to save them? You've got to rescue them? You've got to do whatever you can? And this is where we overcompensate as parents. We over-identify. We try and fix or save them or rescue them from themselves. And we can't do that. We have to rescue ourselves, and they have to rescue themselves. No one's going to do it for you. No one's coming. There's no Prince Charming. There's no woman. We've all been conditioned to see the rescue comes from outside of us. We've all watched Pretty Woman too many times. There's the hero's going to come in and save us. No, there's no one coming to save anyone. We've all got to save ourselves. We have to rescue ourselves. So first and foremost, parent, if you're listening, mum, dad, you're not responsible. You cannot heal their pain. You cannot fix them. You cannot rescue them. It's not your job. You are not responsible for getting them unaddicted. You're not responsible for healing them. And I think parents have to hear that. Parents have to know that you're not responsible. If you could, oh my goodness, wouldn't it be wonderful? There'd be no sick people on the planet. There'd be no one that struggles with it. If it was within our capacity to heal someone, then we would have healed them already. You see, it's insanity, really, trying to do that. If you're trying to do that, then you'd keep doing the same thing and getting the same result is kind of insanity. So stop trying so hard for a start if that's what you're doing. Come back to you. Stop looking at them for a minute. Look in your own mirror. You see, this is an opportunity for you. If it's triggering you and leaving you anxious, depressed, overwhelmed, angry, upset, I don't know, it might be a huge plethora of emotions coming up. Okay, then you have to learn to sit and manage those emotions. Your response is your responsibility. Your emotions, your responsibility. Learning how to manage your emotions, because when you see your person walking down that dark path, utter helplessness, which feels unbearable. And that's why we go oh no, I need to fix, I need to rescue, I need to get them into rehab, I need to force them into go to see a therapist, and I need to make it all happen for them. No, because then you're pushing, you're controlling, you're actually probably doing not something that's not going to work. I'm not saying it just doesn't work when you push. I've worked with too many people that came in because somebody made them, because just get them to rehab and it'll be fine. No, if it was as simple as that, it's not that simple. First of all, you have to understand, that person has to understand they're a slave to whatever they're addicted to. They have to be unhappy with the fact that they're addicted and a slave to it. And they have to realise that they've got a problem. And then they have to realise that only them can do something about it. Don't get me wrong. As a parent, of course you can support your kids. I'm not saying don't love and support them, but I'm saying you can't heal them and fix them and rescue them. It's not your job. But you can be a good role model. See, this is where I think parents, you can do so much. First of all, you can go get you want to send your kid to a therapist, you want them to go to rehab, you go to a therapist, you go to rehab, you go to Al-Anon, you go to someone that's going to help you process and manage what you're going through. Be a good role model that way. Do your work. you know, I'm really struggling, and, you know, I realize I'm helpless to a certain degree because I can't make you not do something, not drink, not take drugs, not get whatever it is. I'm going to go get support because you're important. You're worthy. You need that support. If you're going to support someone who's struggling, then you need to support. You need support. You need to learn to manage your emotions. No repress, deny. If you watched any of the other videos, we talk about don't repress, deny, and avoid. Right? It just makes things worse. You've got to be able to process that pain, manage it, sit with it, take responsibility for it. But you've also got to control this, because a lot of parents, when they see their kids struggling, all they think is, you know, what's the worst fear? Oh my God, dead in a gutter, you know, like suicide, all those things, all those fears come up inside your head. This is the one thing you can control. The one thing you can control. You can't control what comes in, but you can control what stays in. Okay, so the thoughts come in and we have to learn to diffuse from those thoughts, which means stand back and watch those thoughts, because you can have thousands of thoughts, all negative. But it's what you allow to sit inside your head and you mull over and you meditate on, which causes you more suffering. So this is the suffering we cause ourselves. So you notice, lots of fear-based thoughts and negative thoughts. So think on purpose. This is one of the strategies I give a lot of parents. When you think about your kids, or whoever it is, think about them whole, healthy, well, living life on their terms. So you do what you can, you let go of what you can't. Well, I can hold a picture of them inside my mind. I can give them the respect and believe that they're capable, competent, and they can do whatever they want. They can achieve whatever they want. On purpose, think that inside your head. For a start, you'll cause yourself less suffering and you'll feel better. And so do the thing you can. Take control of this. Take back the power. Don't let this run the show. Don't let the emotions run the show. You are the leader of this being, avatar, Mitsu, call it what you like. You get control this. But you're not actually controlling it if you're letting this run roughshod over you. If you're just letting all these thoughts come in and then, you know, fusing with them and, oh God, it's causing anxiety and depression. Manage this. Take care of the body, you know. Control the one thing you can control. This. What you allow to stay inside your head. So see them whole, healthy, well, competent, capable. Don't see them as losers, miserable, incapable, incompetent. Respect them enough to see them as capable and competent of achieving anything, of doing anything. And even if it's not true, it doesn't matter. See them, because that's the one thing you can do. See them as whole, healthy, well, in control of their lives. You see, if you ever heard the term self-fulfilling prophecy, yeah, maybe what we think happen actually makes it happen. So if that's the case, wow, or maybe I'll think about what I want. I'll choose to believe that they're okay, that they're going to be fine, that they're going to live life on their terms, they're going to be happy, they're going to be accomplished, they're going to, because that's something we can do, okay? So these are strategies. So you learn to control this. You learn to manage this. If you're struggling, go talk to someone, a friend that is good at listening, someone that can empathize and go, oh, it's crap. Sometimes that just gets you through the day. When you have a friend that goes, oh my God, like that's crap, you know, just someone to talk to. Women feel better when they talk and process their emotions. Their estrogen level goes up. That's why women love to talk with their friends and they feel better. They don't need someone to fix their problem. Sometimes we just need a loving, kind, gentle ear to empathize with what we're going through, and we will feel better. So have your own support network. Talk to people about how you feel, about how scared you are, and then they'll help sit with you. Because what we're going to do is just sit with this. We're not going to try and make this go away by repress, deny, and avoid. We're just going to speak it out, speak the fear. Oh yeah, I'm really worried about my kids, and yeah, you know, and the other person can actually come alongside and go, oh okay, yeah, that's tough, isn't it, when you see your kids going through that kind of thing. So go to Al-Anon, go get your own support network, go get your own therapy, go talk to someone. They'll put it in perspective for you. They'll help you manage it. Okay, so I just want to reiterate the strategies. Control this. See them whole, healthy, and well. If they're living with you, stop looking at them. Stop looking at them. Oh, hypervigilant, right? Go live your own life. Go do something that's fun. Create a life you actually want to be in, and stop looking at them and waiting them to be well so you can feel okay. There's a saying, isn't there? It says, you sacrifice your own life, don't you? I had someone that was a friend say to me a long time ago, because I told her I didn't actually worry about my kids. And she said, oh, don't you care about them? I was like, wow. So if I don't worry, then it means I don't care? I don't think that's true. I think a lot of people think that's true. Oh, well, if I'm not worried about my kids, then obviously I don't care about them. I care deeply about my kids. They are everything to me and I love them dearly. But I'm mature enough to realize that if they're going through something and I want to support them, then I better be in a good place to be able to support them. Because if I'm on the floor, if I'm so worried and anxious and overwhelmed that they're not okay, then what good am I to anybody? I'm certainly not going to be able to support them. So it's about differentiating, realizing just because they're spinning out and going through a crap place, I can still stay strong and steady in my own self. I can look in my own mirror. I can deal with my own issues. I can get the support I need. I can go to people. I can talk about this to other people. I can learn to manage the fear that I might have going on. And maybe for some parents, there's a lot of guilt and shame coming up because maybe they know, like I did, I wasn't always there for my kids. But I wasn't prepared to stay feeling guilty, because what was that guilt going to do? What good was that going to do anybody? It means I was going to try and overcompensate for what I didn't do then. It's too late. It's too late. We have to come to terms with that, and we have to forgive ourselves. We have to learn to stop punishing ourselves for something that I did 10, 20, 30 years ago, because what good is that going to do anybody? Me or them? It's not. So if you feel a lot of regret and shame and guilt, then go get support to help you work through that. Go talk to someone that's going to help you process that so you're not living with it, something you did 20 years ago. Learn to stop punishing yourself for the past. It's not going to work. It's not going to help them. It's certainly not going to help you. Differentiate your energy system from theirs so you can stand strong even when you see them struggling, because then you will be able to support them. And I know as a parent, I want to be able to support my kids. And so best I get the help I need. Best I do my work. Best I go, work through my stuff. As opposed to feel like I owe them something. And, I need to make up for something. Or I'm trying to overcompensate or over-identify or over-empathize. It doesn't work. I hope that is helpful, because I think if you want to find peace, then you have to control this. It's a much bigger picture here than what this is really, in a way, because this is life. This is, if you want to do life better, this is nothing to do with addiction. If you just want to be better and do better, then stop fusing with other people's emotions. We can be too empathic. It's a gift to be empathic, but it becomes a curse if you're overly empathic. Because what you do is you go in and you kind of bring their pain back inside your body, and you think you can't heal their pain. Only they can heal their pain. And actually it's quite disrespectful if you do that, because what you're saying is, oh, you can't deal with it, I'll deal with it for you. No, they can deal with it. They can deal with it. When I have a client come in, I see them whole, healthy and well. I don't see them miserable on the floor, helpless, hopeless. I don't see them that way. I see them whole, healthy and well. And that's the picture I hold inside my head. Because I'm telling you now, if you see them miserable, scared, lonely, dead, it will show on your face. And so whenever they look in your face, they'll be like, they'll see this fear on your face, and it will make them feel fearful. And so you have to do your work. You come back to you. You're important. You deserve to get the help you need. And it's okay. It's okay. Everything's going to be okay. Keep telling yourself it's going to be okay. See them whole, healthy and well. Fake it till you make it. Self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't care what you call it. Do it. See what happens. Let your experiences reveal the truth of this to you. Don't take my word for it. Just do it. Do it for a few days, a couple of weeks. Just stop looking at them. Start controlling this. See them whole, happy, healthy and well. Believe that they've got what it takes to get through this. Hold your emotions gently, tenderly. Manage them. Don't buy into them. Don't mollycoddle them, but don't repress and deny them either. Just hold them gently. Like, be a good parent to your own emotional self. It's okay. Just tell it. It's okay. Everything's going to be fine. You're safe. I've got this. I love you. Now, this is tapping into the inner child work, which hopefully we will talk about later on. I hope that helps. I don't know if it could do any harm, but I hope that helps. You know, as a parent, you've done the best you could. We all have. Yes, we weren't perfect. Who on earth is perfect? We all mess up, make mistakes. But you are not to blame. You are not to blame, and you're not responsible. And when you can understand that, and you can see them as differentiate from you, because the fact that they're struggling doesn't mean I'll say anything about you. It just means they're struggling. Good luck with it all. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.